here.
There it is.
Hey,
There
everybody.
we are. Hello, everyone. How are you? All right, Miss Laura.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is week 49. I cannot believe that. Every time I say whatever week it is, I'm like, how can it already be there? I literally remember last year it being trick or treat night, not Halloween, when we started because my grandkids came, and I was like, nope, I'm doing a live. You'll have to wait. And so they had to wait out in the dining room for me. So, anyway, tonight they did fine. It's okay. It's good for kids to wait. So tonight we're going to go over carnivore diet that kind of goes along with like hormonal, metabolic, physiological factors, things that kind of play. We're going to go over and discuss differences in fat adaptation, cravings, muscle building, and how men and women experience fasting. We're also going to explore the protein sparing modified fast and how it affects men and women differently. Join us as we discuss real life applications and what each of us has going on with our channels and our Marco Polo groups. There's so much.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to another episode of Meaty Mondays with the Fierce Felines. We are super glad to be back with you again. And tonight, as Laura said, I'm going to be talking a little bit about hormones and fat adaptation. So I had to do a little bit of research, so I might be looking off over here to the side so that I can read a little bit of the research that I did today in talking about the hormonal differences between men and women and how we adapt to our carnivore way of eating. Mm-hmm. So we know that hormones play a huge role in how our bodies respond to our nutritional approach. So, and men and women are different, so we have different key hormones that our body needs and can, makes us experience the diet differently. And so when I thought there was a few things that were like aha moments for me as I was studying up on this. So we know the key hormone for men, everybody say it all together now, testosterone.
Oh, I love me some testosterone.
Testosterone. That is a dominant hormone in men. It influences their muscle growth, fat loss, and energy levels. And the carnivore diet helps to stabilize testosterone levels. So the thing that really made my mouth drop open, my hands slapped my head, and I'm like, no wonder we're so freaking messed up. It says, so the carnivore diet is rich in healthy fats and cholesterol. And cholesterol is the building block for hormone production for testosterone. So if you think about how many men are on statins, and they're forcing the cholesterol down, right? And we also have low T. So they don't have no energy, they don't have no stamina, all kinds of issues with the low T, right? So testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol and the saturated fats that are found in animal foods such as beef, lamb, butter support optimal production of testosterone. So we have heard so many men say, and if you listen to any of these guys' channels, all the guys are out here talking about low T and testosterone and how the carnivore diet impacted their testosterone, and all of a sudden they're no longer low T because they're on a carnivore diet. So the cholesterol helps to influence and support the optimal production of testosterone. So the diet also reduces inflammation, as we know. It also improves insulin sensitivity, and we eliminate, processed food and sugars, and that those processed foods and sugars lead to hormonal imbalances. So, and that also contributes to the low testosterone levels. So additionally, carnivore diet provides essential nutrients, and we've been talking about this over the past few weeks, like zinc and vitamin D. And both of those are also crucial to testosterone production. So zinc is found in abundance in red meat, and it helps prevent testosterone from being converted into estrogen. I didn't know that. Learned that today. The elimination of phytoestrogen-rich foods like soy and flax seeds also supports a healthier testosterone to estrogen balance. So, we improve also body composition. The body composition seems to improve automatically on a carnivore diet. I was listening to Dr. Kiltz over the weekend when I went to the meetup, and he was talking about, various ones that they say they don't exercise at all, but the body composition automatically does some shifting from the very beginning. So you hear people say that, it's like an 80-20, 80% diet and 20% movement, and you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet because that, that the exercise is less important than how you're eating. Okay. So improving body composition, reducing fat, primarily this visceral fat, further encourages and enhances testosterone levels, since excess body fat can also convert testosterone into estrogen. Shut your mouth. I had no idea. All right. So for women, we know that for women, that it's estrogen and progesterone that play leading roles in hormonal health in women. So these hormones fluctuate throughout the menstrual cycle and affect everything from energy levels to fat storage and cravings, as we know as women, right? I remember I used to have a candy bar at least once a month. I had to have a candy bar because the cravings were serious. So when women switch to the carnivore diet, some of us might experience temporary hormonal shifts. And I'm going to tell you guys my testimony, particularly those in the reproductive years. So I was in menopause for a year before I started carnivore. The month after I started carnivore, I had a full-blown menstrual cycle like I was a teenager. I was like, what the heck is going on here? I called my doctor. I had to go in and make sure I didn't need to have surgery. I mean, I was freaking out because I had already been in menopause for a whole year. So just to say that when you're first starting the carnivore diet, you will have some hormonal fluctuations, perhaps causing some things that are quite interesting. Anyway, I had that one menstrual cycle. I didn't have no more. Thank you, Jesus, for that. And so some might experience temporary hormonal shifts, particularly those in the reproductive years. Some women may report disruptions in their menstrual cycles or changes in how they feel during different parts of their cycle. So that's typically short term, like it was for me, praise God. And the body will recalibrate to your new macronutrient profile. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So my question, I wrote down, and I don't want you to change topic. So my question is, you mentioned soy. Is it possible, because soy is in pretty much every vegan thing? As a matter of fact, I remember getting those, edamame, whatever they call it. There you go. With the salt, all those were just so good. And in saying
we were lying to ourselves, telling ourselves that was good.
Yeah, that this was good for me. All this other, put my little salt on it. But my question is, so what happens with males that eat a lot of soy?
So I didn't
gynecomastia.
Okay, go ahead.
Gynecomastia, where they get the man boobs. That is called gynecomastia. That's the number one thing that you'll see. Sorry, Robyn.
That's okay. Yep. I was going to say that it
No,
will
that's why I
contribute
pushed
to
that
a low
out there,
testosterone
because
level.
yeah, I wanted to, I really do, because I look at a lot of
teenage boys. They've got it. And it's, yeah.
And we are pushing this vegan, and we're pushing this stuff. Listen, and I know because I've seen that brought up in some of the vegan groups. Because those that don't know, I was vegan for 5.5 years. I done forgot now. 5 years, we're gonna say. And I know that was one of the things, asked to see the label, because we're on the vegan side. They are going to make money the same way keto has these keto treats and all this other stuff.
Yep.
Or we're going to find a way to put vegan on it and make you think that it's okay because you cutting into our coins. And the same thing over there, they're going to make sure that you have this. But what is it really doing? Because we were never intended.
Because it said right here that the soy converts testosterone into estrogen. And we know what estrogen does, like when we're young girls, right? And our estrogen turns on, we're going to grow breasts. So
if there are any men that want to grow breast, soy can help you out. Now I'm gonna mute myself.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Oh my gosh. So, all right. So as I said, those kind of transitional things, I mean, there are lots of things as you transition over from a standard American diet to a carnivore diet, and hormones is just one factor of it. So that is going to be short term, and those typically will not stay that way. The other hormone is cortisol, and that is, they call it the stress hormone. Both men and women can struggle with cortisol regulation when they first began a low carb or carnivore diet. So women, though, particularly those dealing with things like adrenal fatigue or chronic stress, may find it harder to adjust initially. And so elevated cortisol can interfere with fat adaptation, which we're going to talk about next, especially in women, by promoting fat storage around the midsection and contributing to cravings for quick energy foods. So cortisol, we hear about this all the time, that cortisol is not really, high levels of cortisol is not really good for us. It is a stress hormone. So, and then for postmenopausal women, the absence of estrogen may make fat loss slower, but more sustainable over time. So that's great. I'm glad to hear that, because that's me. And my fat loss is definitely slower. I used to be able to just turn around at the drop of a hat and I could lose 10 pounds in a month and, be able to fit into whatever I was trying to fit into. I could easily do that. But now that I am postmenopausal, I don't have that same flexibility to be able to lose weight like that. So the carnivore diet can offer stabilizing benefits like reducing inflammation. We know it does that. I mean, that's one of the main things that happens when you first get on carnivore, is that inflammation starts to flow out of your body. You start to urinate it out, and you will lose a lot of water weight, which is why you need to keep your electrolytes balanced. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about fat adaptation, differences between men and women. So the process of becoming fat adapted, and we talked about this last week, it's where the body shifts from burning. I'm calling it burning, but we know that the body doesn't burn, right? From processing sugar to processing or primarily burning fat for fuel, or ketones, being in ketosis, is another area where men and women can experience some differences on the carnivore diet. So men typically have a higher muscle mass and more stable hormone levels. So they don't have the hormonal shifts like women do, particularly women that are in their childbearing years, right? So they tend to adapt faster. And we see this on every diet. I used to get so mad because, I would go on a diet, my husband go on a diet, he lose 25 pounds, I lose 2 pounds. And so we always see this, that they tend to adapt faster, but to the low carbohydrate diet and carnivore diet, they really can adapt fast. So muscle mass does play a key role in metabolism, because muscle tissue is more metabolically active and burns more calories at rest. We already knew this, right? This means that men generally transition to burning fat for energy more efficiently than women, experiencing fewer cravings and more consistent energy levels early on. So, and it says men also tend to have a more straightforward fat adaptation journey because their hormonal cycles remain stable. And so without the cyclical fluctuations of estrogen and progesterone that women experience, their energy, hunger levels, and fat burning capacity remain relatively constant. So here's the caveat that I want to throw in here that I thought about. It's not in my notes, but I think the standard American diet is leveling the playing field when it comes to being able to transition metabolically to fat burning mode. Because standard American diet is making men's bodies act like women in ways, right? They have way too much estrogen, way too little testosterone. So even though they have higher muscle mass, I think that is leveling the playing field a little bit, because we're all doing so much damage to our bodies that it's taking what it takes for us to transition into fat burning mode. So it says women, on the other hand, often take longer to fully adapt to fat as their primary energy source. And Laura, you can chime in on this, whether or not you have seen this in this case. But we do have the hormonal fluctuations throughout the menstrual cycle, especially during ovulation and menstruation, that can impact our energy levels, hunger, and cravings. And in the first few weeks or months of the carnivore diet, women may notice more intense cravings for carbs or sugar. I'm not sure about that. I feel like we're all addicted to sugar. And so I don't know, like, I'm not a man, so I don't know how the cravings are, but I can say that men are struggling to get off sugar because it's so highly addictive. And women are struggling to get off sugar. It's just super highly addictive. So I think that when we're trying to convert over to a carnivore diet, it's a struggle because we have to eliminate the sugar. And that really it's very, very challenging. It's super hard because we're highly addicted to it. So when our estrogen levels drop and progesterone levels peak, can make it harder for women to stay consistent with fat adaptation initially. So it's a matter of mind over matter. For those first 30 days, it has to be a mindset shift. Like, I am going to do this and then, because it is a struggle, because you're going to feel cravings, especially if you've been having sugar. And standard American diet, you will have struggle probably with having some cravings. So it's a mind over matter thing. So, it talks a little bit here about fasting, but I think G is going to talk about some intermittent and protein sparing modified fasting. But, we know that there are differences in men and women. I just want to make sure that men understand how cholesterol plays into the creation of testosterone. And it was quite concerning to me when I learned about this, that they're trying to put everybody on a statin to get the cholesterol down. How is your testosterone going to be high?
Starting in high school.
Your testosterone's not going to be high.
Yep.
Your cholesterol
it's okay because they have another drug for that.
Yeah, they'll give you tea.
There you go. Unfortunately, that's how it is set up. It's like, it's okay, but because they told us that your total cholesterol, and I'm not, I'm going to tell it to you. And then when you come back with, hey, doc, this medicine is kind of not allowing, certain things to happen. And it's like, it's okay. Let's
got a pill for
address this. Pill injection for that. And then there'll be some side effects. It's okay, because we got something for your side effects. Do you not see this? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I know for myself, I'm going to talk to my husband about this today, because it's like, this is crucial information that men need to know. about why they're struggling with low energy, low stamina,
Yep.
lack of vigor. I'm trying to be it's not Carnivores After Dark. So
Yeah. 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 Well, Dr. Barry talked about that at this conference, and he said that he had started seeing men as young as 21 and 22 coming into his office when he had his private clinic before they had the fire,
Mhm.
where they were having erectile dysfunction already. 21 and 22. That is absolutely correlated with high carb, all this soy, pseudo estrogen, basically mimicking things, plus all the products that we put on our body. They are estrogenic, and they will also mess with the way men convert. So it's pretty scary. I feel bad for these teenagers because it's funny. They've done the same thing with cholesterol levels to get you on medicine as they have with T. For testosterone for men used to be like 300 was the norm, 500 maybe, I think, even at one point. Now they're like, oh, you're at 150. That's fine. No, they're sitting over here wanting to use my fingernail polish, and no shade on the ones that really do, but the ones that it's because we're giving them estrogen mimicking stuff, and their body don't know what to do. They don't know. And so it's sad that you're seeing this in such young age men. um we need to have manly men. I think that's a very important thing, is that as many of them as we can have out there, that's good to have strong men. I mean, we're gonna have some strong ladies because I ain't being told what to do, let's just be honest.
Right.
She's like,
I do
me
want to
too.
pop this back up here though, because this is
Yeah.
Charlie. Hey, Charlie, thank you for putting this up. My
Yes.
Mhm.
doctor found an old testosterone result from 14 years ago when I was 150 pounds heavier than I am now. Back then it was like 300, but now it's consistently in the 800 to 900s, depending
Yes.
on when testing in a day. That is awesome. That's great,
Yay.
Charlie.
The
Yes, and
ladies
I have
like to
to
hear that.
that's right. And I have to give a shout out to Charlie, Darth Carnivore here. My husband was super impressed. He was at the Keto Palooza event that we just got back from this weekend. Two things. One, he was like, I can't tell he ever was 180 pounds heavier because he's lost 180 pounds. And
Wow.
he said, we went to a Brazilian steakhouse and I out ate Russ the first night by twice as much and everybody else. Second night, because we did it 2 nights in a row, because why not? Charlie ate double what I did. I was so impressed. And my husband sitting across from him, like, wow. So now Charlie is like his hero. He's like, that is cool.
You can eat
So,
all that and still be thin like Charlie.
Here, I'm gonna
yes, yes, yeah. He looks very good. Very good.
All right, Laura, you're up.
oh, my bad.
Okay. That's all right. So I'm going to go over cravings, satiety, and muscle building. So as for cravings, I find working with both sexes that it is so hit or miss. I know sometimes females that are still, menstruating, they will have a little bit more trouble than the women I work with that are either menopausal or postmenopausal. Don't seem to have as bad of cravings. I also think they convert some of them, if they're fully through menopause, some of them convert to being a fat burner a little bit faster. Not all of them, but some. Um, the other thing with cravings is I think there's little tricks that you can do along the way. I listened to, I think it was Dr. Barry during like when I was really going through the beginning, switching over, and I did a lot of extra salt under my tongue. Like if I had a sugary craving, because I hadn't been eating sugar in 28 years, but I had switched to those keto treats that they got us with that had maltodextrin and all the crap and the stevia. And some people are doing the stevia still. And if you can handle it, kudos to you. I'm not one of those. If you get me on something sweet, boom, I'm right back. I'm like a crackhead. Okay. I cannot have it. And so if I would have something, if I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, oh, it's like 8 o'clock at night, I would normally want to have a little, like I would do those Quest bars and I would just do like a fourth of one. And I'd be like, God, that sounds really good. And I thought, no, I'm not doing it. I had already thrown them all away anyway. But I put salt underneath my tongue. And I found that that really did help. The other thing I found, not to take away on the fasting that G's going to go over, but I found when I went to longer fasting a few times, which I don't recommend for most females, but that really helped me fight and learn what true cravings were. Because so many times it's just because you're not busy doing something, your hands aren't busy, things like that, that I found if I paid attention to my true actual hunger cues, that I wasn't even really hungry. And another thing, funny be it, this is what I ate yesterday driving back from Kentucky, was I ate 4 cold hamburger patties. Kelly Hogan says, you'll know if you're really hungry if you can go in the fridge and grab a cold hamburger patty and eat it. And that's what I had yesterday on the way home. My husband's like, what are you having for supper? I was like, I just ate 4 hamburger patties. And he goes, oh yeah. Those were not just meat cookies, dear. So with men, they do say that they tend to have fewer cravings once they're fat adapted. And I think that's going to be true with males and females, that once the fat adaptation has taken place, and even if you do find yourself into that where you're like, I'm getting a craving, you can try the salt, and you can always try to do some fat bites or some like brown butter bites like you guys have been making. Those look amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So that is some things that you could do. I do find that a lot of the guys that I have worked with can do just fine with like the fat heavy meats, and they just stay with that. They don't have to do the additional like butter. They don't need to do additional like ribeye fat. It's not something that they require. Where females, I feel like, I know a lot of people are like not going to agree with this, but over 95% of the people I've worked with that are female are doing better, that they go higher fat. Yes, actually, some of them have said, yeah, I gained it 1, 2, 3 pounds. But I'm like, well, then you're still needing something healed. Once that stuff happens, then that tapers off and you'll lose. Because that's what I did also. And I wasn't even paying attention to it. It was just, I went to grab jeans that time out of the closet, slapped them on. I was like, holy crap, that's a size smaller. I was like, that's a good day.
To me last week.
Yep. And plus, we get so used to seeing the scale and we want that number. We're chasing a number. It's like chasing a drug. You're chasing the dragon. Stop chasing the number. Be more worried about how does your body feel? How are you reacting? And, just how's your overall energy levels and all the rest of those things that go with it. So with women, when it comes to cravings, it does seem to kind of be cyclical. It'll go with your hormonal cycle. And even I found, like, I had a hysterectomy, but I still had my ovaries, which were still functioning till I was about 48. And then they died, which I'm okay with them. Bye-bye. So they can go. But I would find that as I still ovulated, that I could tell. It'd be like, oh yeah, like I need this. I need something salty. Then I needed something sweet, things like that. So I do find that women do have that. They also, this is for G, women tend to need more nutrient variety. So with that being said, that's why I said this goes out to G. Even when I was younger and even when I was extremely morbidly obese, I actually had a higher testosterone level than like most of the girls my age would have. And I don't know if that's because I ran like crazy when I was a kid because I hung out with all boys. So I don't know, but I just had that. So I think maybe that's another thing where I don't need that variety. I really literally can eat hamburger every single day. The other thing is women, of course, because if they're menstruating, they are going to have a higher iron need. And so eating the red meats is going to be very important to get the iron, getting the vitamin B. If you don't have the proper amount of folate, you can take all the iron or eat everything you want, and you're not going to be able to convert that into formable, iron for the body. Heme iron is the easiest, most bioavailable for us. That does not come in a pill form, doesn't come in an IV bag form. So it's always going to be better if you can get that from your food. Now, I will say, and I don't know, G, if you've had your blood work done on this, I have found that working with some people who had, and theirs was the old style gastric bypass, where they're pernicious anemic because they took off that B12 area where the intrinsic factors made, that they had a little more trouble getting that iron built back up after they went carnivore. And they had to actually take methylated folate that's already kind of converted for them until they got kind of going, and then they've been fine. Let's see. And then one of my favorite topics, because I know as a nurse just how important it is for the human body to have good muscles. Doesn't have to be big muscles, good muscles. You want good quality muscles that don't have a bunch of fat ribbing through it. This can be, of course, as with everything, much easier for men. They have much faster muscle growth due to their higher testosterone. Plus, they do already have larger muscle mass, larger arteries, blood vessels, things like that lead to the muscles than we do. And so they're going to generally also be larger, taller, just bulkier. So they don't seem to have as much problem. Even just with my son, he gained 10 pounds on carnivore that he needed to gain, and it was just muscle, and he did nothing other than went carnivore. He didn't do push-ups. He didn't do sit-ups. I mean, he did none of that. So hopefully he'll continue to do that if he's listening. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yes. Women can still gain muscle, but we have to focus more making sure that we're getting protein and strength training. So what I always have worked out, whether it was lifting weights, sprinting, kickboxing, doesn't matter what exercise I'm going to be doing. I always do it fasted. But then what I find, if I do a really heavy lifting day or like a 35-minute hit kickboxing, which is intense, I will eat protein right after that. I will eat a hamburger with my ribeye fat. Like I still am going to be about 80-20, but I do that protein immediately after I do it because I'm hungry anyway. And then I generally skip the supper meal. So that's when my fasting starts at like after I've eaten it like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I fast until the next morning after I do my workout. So I have found that eating that protein very soon after doing a workout has really helped me retain the muscle I have and continue to put on more. So that's what I have found working for myself. I do think that just like back, in 91, when I transitioned away from, eating the standard American diet and I went keto, which was clean keto. It was, single ingredient foods at the time. I was so deconditioned, I couldn't even walk to my mailbox without getting winded, and my knees hurt and my right hip was killing me. I mean, bad. And so I slowly had to build that up over time and just was consistent. And I am an all or none personality. So it was like, if I say I'm going to do it, if I said it out loud and to somebody, I knew I had to get up and do it. So accountability was really good for me in the beginning. I needed that. Now, if somebody says, I don't want you to work out, I'd rather you go do this, I'm going to be like, I'm going to go work out. And then when I'm back, we can do what we need to do, but I'm going to do that. So when I was on vacation, I didn't know where the gym in the hotel was. And I don't know, we were really busy anyway, but I didn't go do that. But one of the mornings I actually did, we were up on the 11th floor. So I did the stairs all the way down and back up twice, and then also planked. But I was like, I still got exercise. I still got stuff done. And we walked everywhere, me and my husband. So we went to, let me just shout out these 3 places. Muhammad Ali Museum,
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. Fraser Museum, which had a lot of all the sports memorabilia, people who have been through any of the sports from down there. And then the Louisville Slugger Museum. Oh, that was awesome. So it was just a great weekend between Keto Palooza, listening to Dr. Barry, also Chris Bear from I think they do the salty and stuff like that.
Wow.
And Keto Chow. Yep. Nice. Him and his wife are super, super sweet people. But it was really nice to be around those people. And some of the people I met were just 100% ketogenic. And they were like, "Oh, are you against keto?" And I'm like, "I am not against keto if it's working for you. If your aches and pains are gone and you don't have any allergies and you have no skin issues and no joint pain, I say keep doing it." And of course, these two were doing clean keto. They're not doing the junk products and stuff that are on there. I say, yeah, you could probably do that just fine. I said, I just warned them not to fall into that trap of the keto breads and keto treats and stuff like that. But it was funny because there was people of all sorts. We did have one guy that came in the last day. I think they were doing a meal, which maybe it was a brunch or something. And there was lots of vagrants around the hotel, even though it's a nice area right there. And a guy came in literally with one shoe on and one shoe off and grabbed a plate of food on a good plate and took off.
Good for him. He was hungry.
He was
I know.
hungry.
I know. And I said, and everybody's like, "What's he got to do with the plate?" I said, "Who cares?"
See,
So
we
that
so much alike.
yeah.
But I really have to get this up here because I'm tired of hearing it. I'm just
Yeah.
being truthful.
My
I
husband,
tell you how many times I've heard that. Yes. So yeah.
You're gonna have
Yeah,
to
my
make something happen.
yes, my husband definitely stole the show with just about every single person we ran into. I mean, they're like, "Oh, Laura, blah, blah, blah." And then they're like, after they talked to Paul for a little while, they were like, "Where's Paul?" I'm like, "Well, I didn't get him a ticket to Keto Palooza because he doesn't eat this way, but he's here. He's just at the, was he going to be there tonight? Yes, he'll be there at supper. Calm down." I was like, "What about me?"
All right.
That's okay.
Were you
That's
done or
okay.
we move
I
on?
am finished. It is on to you.
All right. All right. All right. Okay. So for me, my topic, let me get it right. So you guys know I'm talking fasting and I'm talking PSMF. What does that stand for? I have it for you. It is protein sparing modified fast. So that's the things that we're going to talk about. But before I move on, I had to think about this because I know sometimes you guys say things and I'm like, what? Never heard that before. And it doesn't bother me to say that. It really doesn't. Let me back this up a little bit. My mom is French. So in my household, here's an example. My brother, bless his heart, he was like 13 or 14 when one of his friends corrected him. But at the same time, this is what my mother taught him. Pleats. She would say to him, "Give me your clothes so I can put your pleats in." And so my brother turned around and said, "Well, I gotta go home and put some pleats in my pants." And his friends were like, "Pleats in your pants? What are you talking about?" And that's when he found out that you just iron a crease in. So my mom had to convert French to English. And so some things we just, I mean, it is what it is. So with that being said, 3 things I'm going to talk about. Cortisol. We say cortisol, and a lot of times we will go into, but cortisol is a hormone produced by the adrenal glands, which sits on top of your kidneys. It's often referred to as a stress hormone because it releases in response to stress and low blood sugar. It helps regulate your metabolism, control blood sugar levels, reduce inflammation, and assist with memory. Look, my cortisol must be low. Uh, formulation. However, chronically elevated cortisol levels can lead to weight gain, especially around the abdomen and other health issues. So I wanted to talk about that. The moment we talk about testosterone, like I go to one area on the man, right? Testosterone, I do, but it's a little bit broader than that.
Yeah.
Testosterone is a hormone primarily produced in the testicles for men and in smaller amounts in the ovaries of women. So when I read that, I was like, but I got rid of my ovaries. I didn't let them go nicely, but I no longer have it. So it's the main sex hormone responsible for muscle mass, bone density, and body hair in men. Though it plays an important role in women as well, what does it do? It's influencing on our mood, our energy levels, and our muscle strength. When was the last time you had your female ladies, your testosterone checked? That's something that we don't even think about, but it does have to do with your energy levels and your muscle strength as well. And then one of the last ones, of course, is the thyroid that we could talk about, which is a small gland in the neck that produces hormones, right? That regulates your metabolism, energy production, and growth. Now, I said those things to say part of us now eating the way that we eat helps in all of that. Do you know how many days I woke up and only thought about bigger or smaller? That's it. Oh, will I be able to fit this outfit? Oh, we got this event coming up. Like Robyn said, oh, I need to drop a few pounds. So what we do? We're gonna starve, we're gonna do the smoothies, we're gonna do everything, trying to get stuff out of us so we can fit into that outfit. Next day, you won't be able to wear it anyway, because you're gonna blow back up because you're gonna go back to eating what you were eating. But we're on here talking to you about your different hormones and everything. Everything that goes on inside of you, because all of it is important. And cakes, pies, cookies, Kool-Aid, chips, hot sauce, I'm naming the stuff, fried foods in the wrong oil, foods all the time now in the right oil. I don't look to drain it, I look to drink it. So everything has changed. Now, with that being said, let's talk about some fasting for men. And this was already said, men generally adapt more quickly to intermittent fasting, exercising faster in metabolic shifts. Their body just does that. Do not get jealous, because ladies, we were wonderfully made. Okay. So please note that. Matter of fact, side note, let me tell you how wonderful you are made. Even God Himself needed you to enter into earth. So please don't change that for some muscles. Now, the men, they tend to experience fewer hormonal fluctuations, which seems as if they're the calm ones while we're over here pinging, right? Ping, 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 ping. And they just kind of stand there unless they done ate some soy and all this other stuff. And then they like right back with you. Anyway. So another thing, testosterone levels. Wait a minute. Oh no, I did that one. We're down over into testosterone
Fasting.
remains stable.
You're talking about fasting.
I am, but this is in fasting for the men. The testosterone levels, let me go back. They tend to experience that's what I was saying, fewer hormonal fluctuations, making fasting more sustainable for them. So, we go through and we can be emotional. Testosterone levels may remain stable or even increase during short fasting periods, male or female. Men often see quicker fat loss results, especially around the abdomen area. So I know for my husband, his abdomen area has been one of the last places for him to lose weight. To finish that, you can see all the definition with that little comforter on top. I'm sorry, honey, I'm telling your business. But we're transparent over here.
He's cuddly.
Because I got a little throw blanket as well. Now, women, in regards to fasting, women may experience more sensitivity to extending fasting due to their hormone cycles. Y'all know sometimes you just ain't in the mood. Oh, so shorter fasting periods are generally recommended. And that's why Laura said, I do not recommend for ladies to fast on a longer period of time because we get so out of whack. Long fasting periods can elevate your cortisol. That's the reason why I told you about the cortisol, because I was going to use it, leading to stress and potential issues with sleep or your mood, right? Fasting for too long or too frequently can disrupt ovulation and your cycle. So balance is the key. Women may need to adjust fasting windows based on their monthly cycle to support their overall health. So now let's drop down and talk about protein sparing modified fast. Men are typically able to maintain muscle mass more easily during PSMF is what I'm going to say instead of protein sparing modified fast due to stable testosterone levels. So this can work even better. Then when I sit and think about it, it's because they went out, they was hunting and all this stuff. So the muscles, the running, yeah, I feel that's why they needed it more. They often have fewer issues with hormonal imbalance while doing PSMF for extended periods. PSMF can help men preserve lean muscle mass while targeting fat loss more efficiently. One of the questions that we had that was asked, what about the fat in the midsection of a man? This can be one remedy, actually eating one meal a day, but then that's something else. Men typically find PSMF easier to maintain as they require higher protein intake, which aligns more with, let me just say it on this last time, protein sparing modified fast. Now, how is that for women? Women should approach this type of fast cautiously as prolonged can use as prolonged use can lead to hormonal imbalances. We don't need that, ladies. Okay. Your cycles, your monthly cycles not being on point, they're gonna start fluctuating. So if that's going on with you right now, ta-da, not that you're fasting, your hormones are imbalanced. That's not you weren't supposed to miss a cycle. You weren't supposed to do that. Thyroid function may also be impacted in women during this type of fast. So it's important to monitor your energy levels. Also, PSMF should be cycled for women to prevent long-term effects on your reproductive health and ensure adequate nutrient intake. Our bodies, whether you are utilizing those parts or not, oh, look at that. Hey,
Boom.
whether you are utilizing those parts or not, we're designed differently. We're designed to where we carry the baby, whether it's 1, 2, 3 litter, whatever it is. We're doing all of that. We're feeding people from our breast. We're doing a lot of different things. We can't match up like that with the male counterpart. Now, later on in life, now you're still trying to keep all your hormones because you're not trying to get that, what we call it, a midlife spread. Y'all know, I got it. Where do y'all? Come on, do you hear everybody? I hear y'all in the comment. I know that spread that turns around and take place. So we don't need that. This is still important for you. Women may need to incorporate refeeds or higher fat days into a PSMF to maintain hormonal balance and avoid a metabolic shutdown or slowdown. So you having fat and all of that is like so important. We come on here every week. And we also do different shows. This is like so important. Can I say to you, watch this here. Go ahead and lose the fat now. You're gonna experience excess skin, but then if you go ahead and make the change, then your body, you have time for your body to turn around and reshape itself. It's gonna be horrific in the beginning. You did it. You ate that food. You ate that wrong stuff. And if you ate it over this last past year and a half, I've been on here telling y'all. But you guys said some stuff. Laura, I'm gonna pull us like this right now. Wait, there we go. I have 2 dry skin spots on the front of my legs. One on this leg, one on that leg. I sometimes hot flashes come back, and all I have to do is think, did I eat any dairy? Did I have anything? That's where it's coming back. So if you've gotten rid of hot flashes, that's all I'm gonna say on that one.
I ain't got rid of hot flashes yet.
But they prolong for me, over the dairy.
Yeah.
It's prolonging, but it's you're in that battle because it's like I did a burger today and I did a half a slice of cheese. And it's like, well, is this half a slice gonna give me a hot flash?
Maybe.
I know. And so you go through, but then why I'm not going, I don't
Do you know why part of that is? Not because you're not intolerant to the dairy, but dairy in the United States the dairy cows are allowed to be given all of these hormones, and that does get into their milk supply. And then the milk is used to make the cheese and the cottage cheese and the sour cream and yogurts and all the things. So that is why when people eat that, I am lactose intolerant, so I just can't have it. But and I'm sure I would have had those reactions, but that is because of that being in there. And I also think if you think back to when you guys were little girls, I don't remember 80% of my class at age 10 having to wear double D bras. I just don't remember it happening. But my daughter's class had several girls that were completely fully developed at 10. They're starting their periods now at 8. That is almost common at this point. And I'm like, what is happening? What is, and it has to be from all of these excessive hormones that are being put into the food products. And then half of the food products that have these ingredients that are estrogen mimicking and can mess with the way our hormones work in our body. I mean, there's no other reason why that would happen, because when you look at, the span of time, you don't see shifts in that big of a change that quickly when it comes to the way we do things in our bodies, doing it. So in evolutionary ways, there's no way it should have happened that fast if it wasn't due to an outside source. So that's what I think about the hormones and that stuff.
Robyn, you want to hit the start comments, any questions and stuff like that? Let's go ahead and do that.
I was just getting ready to do that. So Cosmic Jester is asking, so when I was talking about the testosterone converting to estrogen, doesn't the same thing apply to women because testosterone converted to estrogen? Yes, that testosterone can be converted to estrogen in the body through a process called aromatization.
Yes.
So yes, that can happen. Absolutely. So that's that question. Anything else you want to add, Laura?
No, that is true. I do think that because we naturally have an organ that or endocrine system that makes the estrogen, we don't convert it from testosterone as much as a male doing that. So we will have some of that. Right, but we don't do it to the same level, most of them. I mean,
Right.
there's always going to be the occasional that does.
Okay. So Kat Diamond wants to know, are you paying attention to calories on your high-fat diet? I've gained weight in the last 6 months, want to try high-fat, but stay under TDEE. I am not counting calories at
Nope.
all. I'm not counting anything. So what I can tell you, Kat Diamond, is that my stick of butter is like 800 calories. So it's 8 tablespoons of butter. Each tablespoon is a 100 calories. So that would be 800 calories in addition to whatever else I'm eating throughout the day. But I don't count any calories. I'm not looking at my macros. I'm not doing any of that. The only thing that I'm testing right now is at my GKI. So I would highly recommend it. I definitely think you should do an experiment. I started out with 1 month and now I'm going to do it for 3 and see what happens. And I feel so much better on the high fat. I feel happier. I feel more joyful. I feel more satisfied. When I eat, I can do my intermittent fasting easily for longer periods of time. It's just really, I feel a lot better on higher fat. So, yep. All right. What about belly fat?
Now, see, we both did
Depends.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Let's get my hand off of
Yeah.
it. Go ahead.
It depends, because it depends if that is visceral, like intertwined in between the organs, which you don't want, or if it's the adipose sitting more out on the outside, like what you were talking about, you and you and Frederick having your
Our
little
comforting
blankets,
blanket. Our little
your little blankets. That is protective. That is something that's good. So I had a discussion with somebody this weekend. She was asking me about, like growing up and things that I'd went through. And I said that I had always been heavy, but I was fluffy. It was on the outside. And that I'd had a girl who had made my life a living hell all through high school, who was big as a twig, and that she was super skinny and ate all the junk. And I just told her, she says, don't you wish you could eat like, and I'm like, I don't, because mine's on the outside. Where's yours? It's somewhere. And at our 20-year class reunion at 37, she had had a 5-way bypass the year before. So I was like, nope. I said, I'll take that fat that's on the outside versus that stuff that's marbled. So belly fat, you want to make sure you're getting rid of that visceral. Yes, subcutaneous.
Exactly.
Look at him and his fancy words. I'm supposed to be the nurse.
All right.
But we know about that belly fat.
Does eating carnivore cause a histamine allergy reaction? Not sure the proper wording. The itching was horrible. I'm thinking oxalate dumping.
Oxalate dumping, and you already had the histamine problem. It's just that as you start to clean up your diet, you pick up on it easier because you don't have all these things bombarding you, all these chemical reactions that are going on in the body from the fake food. So I always had trouble with the same items that I cannot eat today were items I always had issues with, but I just forced my way through it because I liked the yogurt, or I liked the omelet that had the egg white in it. So it's not that it causes it. It's just that as you clean up things, you're gonna start to notice, because you learn to listen to your body.
Yeah, so I'll just mention this because it's something that I'm struggling with right now, and it is chicken thighs. I noticed that I have a histamine reaction or histamine response to chicken thighs. And I don't have, it's not so much with the little chicken wingdings or whatever, the little pieces of chicken, those are not so bad. But the thighs, if I eat that, I get a stuffy nose. I start to feel that, histamine reaction. And it doesn't make me feel good. Not to say that I'm not going to eat it, because I love me some chicken. It tastes good. But
that's because chickens do not break down
notice.
everything in their food. So that's why, like,
That's why we eat ruminant meat.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Those four stomachs, those 4 stomachs are doing so much for us.
Yes.
So, but yeah, chicken, I know that I have a little bit of a reaction to it. So it's kind of a bummer. So you just got to determine, like, what are the things that are causing you the problem, by eliminating everything and bringing one thing back at a time. That's the only way that I could see. All right. Dear Laura, would you please talk about extended fasting?
Yes. So for males, I mean, they can jump right into longer, like 3 to 7 day fasting pretty quickly. Just make sure you have electrolytes, whether that be salty, LMNT, you make your own Soleil water. Same with females, except I would start out doing like 16-8 or 18-6 and work your way up. I do think that once a month, a 2-3 day fast is probably okay. I think it's going to jumpstart things and detox, get rid of those oxalates and things like that. Sorry, I have a cat who's decided they want to be in. Get down. But I don't recommend long extended fasting for females, as you guys talked about earlier with those cortisol. Cortisol really gets kicked out in us females when we do that extended fasting. We're fighting against our own human biology when we do that. So I just think the majority of people, females, do not do great on long 7-day fast. Not that I am not going to do an occasional, because I will, but I know a lot of people who try to do one every single month. I think that is too much stress on the body. I think a 1-2 day fast isn't that abnormal, because that's going to be similar to what happened with our ancestors. You didn't get the deer, the bison, or whatever you were shooting every single day.
Right.
So
And I want
that's
to mention, because I do a spiritual fast once a year. And that can be from 3, 5, 7 days. I've even done up to like a 10-day fast, but I only do that like once a year. So, and that's more of a spiritual fast.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Where do you suggest to get any of the information that you shared tonight? That's from Felicity. A book?
In the Marco Polo group.
Yes.
It's in our brains.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, everything that's being asked that we share, we have a group that, a lot of this is discussed in, that we pull ideas and stuff from, and everyone, you get to come in on any one of our channels, just hit the join button and join the 1999 group, bam, and there you are.
Yep.
And you have all three of us. How cool is that?
And so, Robyn, how long have you been carnivore now? How many months?
So I have been carnivore since February 22nd, 2023.
Okay. So, and G, you guys are 16 months. We talked about it earlier today.
I think it's like 18 or 19 months. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're a little bit, I'm the baby in the group. I'm the baby in the group. And I'm the one that just, listen, we have to run and tell this. And
I'm 5 years as of June. So we a lot of the information that we have is because of our experiences. We've worked with other people. I'm a nurse on top of that, so I have some of that stuff in the background, which not that has a lot to do with this, because they taught us the opposite. Visceral fat, you would be somebody, if you have a lot of visceral fat, intermittent fasting is key for you to do. So you would be somebody that should do alternating fasting days. So I would fast Monday, and I would eat like 2 meals a day Tuesday, maybe fast Wednesday, eat 2 meals, and just kind of alternate that, kind of keep the body guessing what you're doing, because if you keep doing the same thing routinely, the body wants to hang on to that. The other thing that you can do to get rid of visceral fat is there are some liver cleanses that are out there. And yes, they're going to have some lemon juice, and yes, they're going to have some things that are not going to be considered carnivore. We are not the police. And I believe that there are times that you are supposed to have plants as medicine.
Medicinal. Thank you. They're medicinal.
So a good liver detox cleanse, I think, is another thing to kind of get that started. So that's what I would do.
All right. Our last
it's been 600 days. Today is my 600th day on carnivore.
There you go.
See?
Yay.
All right. This is
I love her name.
But I'm amazed since increasing my fat. Yep. The diarrhea has improved. Yay. I had no energy because I was afraid of too much fat. Honey, they told us fat it's fat.
Liars.
It's going straight to fat. No, lie.
Sugar.
And eating too much protein. And now all about the fat. Thank you. You are the winner. You are the class winner today because you got it.
Yes.
When I tell people I eat a stick of butter a day, and I just said to you guys, I have 2 dry spots on my legs. So please tell me, how is that happening? Probably because some days I don't get a whole stick down. Somebody telling on me. With the dry spots, it really is. You should I can feel it in my face. I can feel it like different places. And Laura, I love the serum.
I do too. I love it.
I
It is. I took some into the town that's really close to me today. Somebody asked if I would take it in, and it is for their teenage son who has really bad acne. And I'm like, here you go. Now, I also said, what are they eating? And they said, and I go, yeah, they need to kind of try to get that too. But yeah, they got that the serum for their teenage son, and I was like, yay, because it works so good on age spots, your old acne scars. Because I had no acne till I was an adult, and and I have none of those scars. There's nothing. They're gone. And that's the only thing. I had them for 4 years. The only thing I did different was putting on the facial. Yeah.
No, growing up. Okay, y'all. Can y'all see your girl? I got a forehead. Okay, always had it. But when I was younger, baby, I wore them bangs.
Oh,
So the only place I had bumps was like across my forehead. And I said, oh, it's because of the bangs. Well, won't be getting rid of them because ain't nobody seeing this forehead. And I could not stand this this little widow's peak there. How many of y'all have it and y'all shaved it off? And then, of course, when it grows back, it look worse than anything done to your head. Now, where I could have slid it over, I got this food look like a 5 o'clock shadow of a man beard growing across. Oh God, the things that we go through growing up. So here we are here now, trying to help those that are 30 and 40 and even coming up on 50. This is what we're doing. And then when we share with you, you're supposed to turn and talk to those youngins in your house. Talk to them grands. Be the person. But then you're going to find out that people think you crazy. And that's where our group comes into play. Like-minded people having their conversation, cheering on the fact that I got a whole stick of butter down. You need to find your tribe. Let me just say, I can't say that enough, especially if you don't have the support. Just imagine something is going on, you feeling a little lightheaded, you're able to come into the group and say, hey, this is what I ate yesterday. I'm feeling a little lightheaded, and the answer, some suggestions are coming right there from people that eat like you, that's doing like you. But let me say this, everybody in the group is not a carnivore.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. The people in the group are talking about food that they're putting in their bodies.
That's right.
There you go. That's what you are now aware, that you're putting junk in your body. You are now aware that all of these ailments coming in your 30s and 40s, you were not supposed to have. I celebrated my first old people disease, bursitis in my left hip. I was not supposed to have that. No, my bursa is not supposed to be inflamed. None of this is supposed to happen. You weren't supposed to need those readers. But you got eyes, God gave them to you. You weren't supposed to be a diabetic. You weren't supposed to have high blood pressure. You wasn't. Here was one that I had to get. I heard someone say, and I believe it. Your head was supposed to be much broader. A thin face represents the malnutrition. I was like, oh, well, that would be me.
Same with here. Like when they talk about dentistry and they have the smaller palates where you have to get, I had to have mine widened. Yep, me too.
Oh, wait a minute. And you had to have the 4 teeth removed?
Yep.
Because you don't have the room. Now, this is my husband told me never to tell anybody this. Y'all ready?
No. Is this for Carnivore After Dark or is it okay?
No,
okay.
it isn't.
Okay, well, I'm just asking.
He told me not to. Wait a minute, let me get it right. Y'all ready? Look at my mouth. I've had 9 teeth removed. You do the math.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Thank you. He said, don't tell nobody that. You only have room for the one. Well, 4 of them, of course, were wisdom,
right?
5 of them.
Yeah, that's still a lot. Yeah,
we're gonna have to take this question because it's going on in the chat. So have you heard of it? I'm not trying it. I've never heard of it, and
so I have never come across urine therapy. What I can say, what I do know about
first, y'all tell me what it is.
Well, it's called urotherapy.
Urine
therapy or urotherapy in alternative medicine is the application of human urine for medicinal or cosmetic purposes, including drinking of one's own urine and massaging one's skin or gums with one's own urine.
Yes.
Okay. So the only thing that I have heard of is back in the day for diabetics
and ear infections.
For diabetics, though, too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They used to do that back in the day.
Yes.
And the only thing I heard is
they were diabetic. Right.
The only thing I heard in regards to urine is a Carnivore After Dark type of thing.
Yes.
If you want to participate with some urine, or no, I've actually heard. Okay, y'all, I'm getting it confused now. I don't know if they was talking about semen or urine at this point, rubbing it on your face. I don't know at this point.
Not doing either one.
Okay,
not doing either one. Not on purpose anyway.
That for Carnivores After Dark for self.
But I will say that your urine, if it's your own, it is sterile. Like it's not going to hurt you because it's your bacteria that you have in your body. Now, I wouldn't be putting somebody else's for damn sure, but I'm not even putting my own. Like that's saying I wouldn't piss on somebody if they're on fire. Yep, not doing it. If it works for people, great.
Okay, but wait, Laura. Now, Sheridan opened up. Y'all know me. Sheridan, we well over time. Sheridan opened up
can of worms.
We did, because we got to break this thing down. First of all, mine, if I don't drink enough water, is really, really strong. And I don't even see where that would get down. And then honestly, with my mouth and my gums, eating the way that I do, I don't get like bleeding gums. There's no inflammation. So I don't know why I would rub it on my gums. Why is it going in the ear, Laura? Tell me, why is it going in the ear?
Because of the bacteria. Back in the day, for ear infection, you could take 3 drops from, like, say, I had a holistic doctor back when my son was little, and he had ear infections constantly, was always on antibiotics. And this lady, I thought she was woo-woo. I literally thought she was crazy. And she had him pee in a cup. She took an eyedropper, put 3 drops of that urine in his ear, and said she was doing that because the bacteria, that it was going to kind of equalize the good and the bad bacteria that was in the ear and get rid of his ear infection. Poof, it was gone. And he never got one after that. And never ever. But
it was his own.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, when she first said it, I was like, put my tinfoil hat on. I thought, this lady is crazy. But she was right. But he didn't drink it, and I'm not drinking any. I'm not. But that's okay.
Yes, Sarah, honey. That's towards
the first time I heard of that one.
Yeah.
I'm not. I told you where I heard. I like in the bedroom type thing. That type thing.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I don't know. I never heard of it. It's healing. I missed that class or something. So here we go. Oh,
All right, Ellen.
oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I was looking. I was like, yeah, that's the way. I think, honey, a lot of stuff's supposed to go out, not in.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna bring. Now y'all make me have to go to the bathroom. I gotta go pee now. So,
All
no,
right.
because
What's
I'm
going
actually
on your
drinking
channel
water.
this week?
It's
What's
going.
going on your channel this week, G?
Oh my God, y'all! Listen, sous vide. I did a review for sous vide, and I don't know what these people were thinking by sending me one, but wait till you guys see the sous vide. Plus, Frederick and I, y'all know that we do traveling. So when you're on a channel, we do have a little travel section to show like out and about how we make make it work in vacationing. We're on a cruise ship. We're going again next month. Matter of fact, November, December, and January, back to back to back to back that we have. And so, but I like getting those videos out. I like the service. I like all of that. And I just let you know what works. And then if you want to go on some form of a vacation with your family or anything, the ship to me is it. They can prepare food how you want it, and everybody else gets to have a good time. So be on the lookout for those. Matter of fact, my husband won a cruise for us. So we're going to be out and about. But right now, sous vide is it. And I am having a blast putting this video together. Jesus. It's so my personality. Help us, Lord.
All right.
That's
How
all I
about
can
you,
say.
Laura?
Help us, Lord.
What's going on your channel this week?
Yeah, this week, I did do a live already this morning. I kind of went over, I was making, I think I was doing lavender. I don't even remember what I did. I did like 10 different products today. So, cause I had today off to recoup from vacation, before going back to work. So I did a live where I kind of went over because I live streamed as much of Dr. Barry's speaking as I could.
Nice.
So I kind of recapped some of the high notes from his thing. He is hilarious. He says bullshit a lot. And I was like, I can identify with that. That sounds like something I would say, just throw it out there. But I may do
what we've been
something
taught that he
Yeah.
right. I mean, it really, really is. And maybe, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, sometimes we have to just say, oh,
Yeah.
we've been taught
Yeah.
bullshit. That, I mean, there
Yeah.
you go. So,
And that is what he was talking. He was just like, it's nothing but this. Yeah. So the rest of the week, though, I am going to be making product because I had a lot of sales that came in while I was gone. I sold quite a bit while I was there. I did not put up a vendor booth because with it being my first keto event, I wanted to just suck it all in, take everything in. I potentially might do that next year if I do the Keto Palooza thing again. We'll just see. It just takes a lot, and then I don't want to miss the people talking. So I don't know if I'll do that because I was able to hand out cards and do stuff. So
okay, this time let your husband be in there, and then he just, if you get a booth,
He worked the booth.
that's
yeah,
a good idea. I didn't think about that.
when you want to step away,
Yeah.
and then
I
look
might do that.
for us,
put his-
girl, you better listen.
I'll put him to work.
For those that don't know, Laura has a website. It's right there, russellbrands with the z.com. And before she left, she dropped off. Well, she didn't drop it off. It came in the mail. Some, I'm finna say true serum, Jesus, some serum. When I say to you, I was putting that stuff on my face. If it feels good,
It's
my
like it
skin
just-
feels good, and okay, it feels a little better than the tallow.
Yeah.
This feels different.
Yeah.
And I got some tallow from Carrie Mann's girls,
Yes.
Emma,
Yeah. Emma.
and I'm gonna be honest. That was the smoothest. I don't
Yeah.
know what those girls did in that. It was
Yeah.
smooth and creamy. I don't know. I did a video for them. I'm like, I don't think I've ever wiped anything on my face that smooth. So their little bottle has that. Yours, deodorant, that's it for me. The deodorant, the tooth powder, and now this serum. Everybody on
Bam.
earth needs some. That's
All
all
right, I
I
guess
can
I'm gonna
say
have to
about.
get some.
Yeah, that
I
that
love
that
it.
that was it for me. So y'all need to get on her site and let it do what it do, because it did what it did. I'm 60 years old, honey. Okay, come on.
So for me, this week, I do have a video that I'm working on right now. It's just my little video of clips from the Montello Inspiring Carnivore Stories meetup over the weekend. It was just so nice to be able to go and get with the folks again. And there's a couple of people in the chat that I met over the weekend, so that was super nice. So that video will be coming out. I'm working on a video about autoimmune conditions and how the carnivore diet helps with autoimmune conditions. And then also, of course, my daily, not quite everyday daily, but my daily GKI testing and what I eat in a days and stuff like that is going to be on my channel this week. So I'm a little bit behind because of the weekend, but I'll get caught back up.
I did the same thing. I have to say, I put this up because it was like Emma's tallow cream, love it. Put a little bit in my hair. I did the same thing yesterday. I said, I
Good
wonder,
idea.
and I rubbed that stuff right on back, honey. Ah, it's soft. It's just okay. Yeah.
Good stuff.
So I have loved these natural products, and I like the fact 2-3 ingredients, nothing else jumping out, and it's really good for you. So there it is.
Can we tell where to get the instructions for the oil pulling? So we can, I don't know if there's a video that one of you guys has on your channel about oil pulling.
Yeah. I have
No.
not. I've done
You
it.
take the coconut oil,
Yeah.
you
All
put it
right,
in your
so
mouth, and you swish it
yeah.
Yep.
So I have
for
the
20 minutes.
yeah.
Yes.
Don't swallow it.
You scoop it, put it in, allow it to melt, and then you just start swishing
Switching
back
it.
and forth, back and forth. Now,
But if
let
you
me
mix
say
it with the tooth powder, you can do both.
I
Yes.
was just getting ready to say.
Yep.
So what
Yeah.
I do in regards to Laura, I take my toothbrush and scoop the coconut. I dip it in, not the whole thing, y'all. Just enough, because I take the powder and make it into a paste and go around. And it is a little difficult with the braces, but I do it. You can add a little bit more, and I swish that because I want those ingredients between the teeth and all of that.
Yep.
Now, let me say this, Tara, you need you a paper towel to spit
Yes.
in, okay?
Don't put it
Do
down the
not
sink.
put that stuff down your sink, okay?
Yeah.
All right,
You
please
will
don't.
have a clog.
That you sure will. And then other thing that I do is every morning I take about, I wouldn't even know, I just squeeze it down in both my sinks. I let that Dawn dishwashing liquid run down while I fill the kettle up, and I pour that scalding hot water down both to keep them pipes going for all the grease and stuff that we utilize. So, all right, y'all. I know y'all don't want us to go, but I told you I got to use bathroom.
Yeah, me too.
Potty. I got to potty. But guess what? Those that are in our Marco Polo group, when we get off here,
We'll be talking to
we'll
them.
be talking with them, so the conversation doesn't stop. You gonna stop saying this. Wait a minute, where is it? Wait, not that right there, not you. Hold on. It's her. Why is it not showing? Are you clicking while I'm clicking?
No, I'm not clicking.
What is going on? Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me go to this one. Oh, I can't even get this off. my favorite is cinnamon. That's what she got up there. There it is. Oh, go and put that. No, I like peppermint.
Yes.
So
My
I'm the
favorite
peppermint
is
and
the
she's the
cinnamon.
cinnamon. Yeah. So
I like both.
I know that's what she says, but that's what we say. So until next time, you guys, thank you so much for joining. If you did like this, go ahead and share it. Come on, jump in the after party on the Marco Polo. Come in through any one of our pages here on YouTube. Just hit the join button like a member, but you have to do it for the $19.99. That's just for the whole month. That's it.
I just want to yell out real quickly,
Yell it,
Donna
girl.
Daniels. Perfect. Good on you for your numbers. They look
Yes,
wonderful.
I was going to
You
say
are
the same.
kicking. You're kicking butt. I love that. I love it. So yes.
Excellent.
Yep.
Game
Yay.
changer. Total game changer.
Yes, it is.
It is. So with that, we're
See you
out.
guys.